problem is that they destroyed things, they destroyed evidence, and what I found through my experience with knowing this community that I was involved in, now knowing Shane, but through Gary McBride, what a big setup it was very early.
Yeah, it definitely was, and that's kind of what this video is going to show. You know, we always talk about assets being out there that day, and this is, you know, I've never done really anything on B.A. Miller until what Summerall sent me. So it's important to get this out just to kind of show the truth of that day. And Shane hasn't seen it yet. Joe, you haven't seen it, so it's going to be fun to see y'all's reaction to
Who's
it. But you have
Summerall?
to. So, Mr. David Summerall from StopHate.com. David, what do you
Hey,
got going on,
hey,
brother? Yeah, go ahead.
man, I'm telling you, I'm excited to get to it. I want people to understand that, you know, the day was a long time ago and the pardons were a year plus ago, but this is far from over. We are still getting video evidence. We are still building cases. We are still working diligently to get justice because we can't get any kind of reparations until we have convictions. So we need justice for these people, and we're not going to stop. And this is one of those revelation moments that really changes the narrative for what was so public for so long about a specific officer that was supposedly dragged into the crowd and beaten and, you know, unconscious and heart attack brain. It's all based on a lie that he never refuted. And, you know, his perjury is one thing, but when everyone frames this as you were this guy when you weren't, and we have the proof beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, actually, that who he said he wasn't, or who they said he wasn't him. So we're going to really expose this in a different way. And I think doubling down on Officer Fanone is a worthwhile endeavor. He's asked to be the center of attention for so long. He wants to be the face of J6 on their side. You know, they've got their stupid plaque up on the wall the other night at 4 a.m. in the morning. They had their guy screwing it to the wall temporarily. But the fact that the Senate is allowing that and the House approved it, everybody's on board with that, just proves the traitorous nature of the Uniparty and selling the people out. But hey, the good news is, Gary, and we'll talk about this more later, the statue is almost ready. So we're waiting for the rendition. So we have a statue that we want on the Capitol property, you know, to honor the people that died that day that were killed by the people on that plaque. So, you know, I think that, you know, tit for tat, if you get yours, we get ours, and let's tell the true story and let's get behind that. And I think people will appreciate the effort that goes into it. And I hope that they appreciate the art behind it as well as the message, because that's what J6 is really all about.
And I totally agree, David. And I've got this saved on my phone. I saw it yesterday. I'm going to be real quick with it, but it's the title of it is January 6th plaque honoring police officers is now displayed at the Capitol after 3 years. I'm not going to read it all. I just want to make some points. This is funny. Let's see, where is it at? The plaque was placed on the Senate side of the hallway, and it was quietly done at 4 a.m. in the morning. So to me, that just says, why did you have media there covering this? We know how it's going to happen when they put this statue up in D.C. when it gets passed. There's going to be a lot of people there for that, honoring those heroes. What do you think about that? You know what I mean?
That's exactly what needs to happen. Look, and until people know the truth, and that's why we won't stop. You know, they were given a false bill of goods for so long. The propaganda was strong, the lies, the deceit. You know, when we talk about the deaths on J6, they were all, you know, exaggerated or lied about, just bold-faced lies. So when you look at what really happened in the Tiananmen Square, you know, comparison of what we experienced, our government killed innocent people, blamed them for it, put them in prison for it, as we'll speak with one of our guests here in a minute, and use the media to cover that up. And that's the biggest travesty, to understand the partnership between the Uniparty and the media, and how they railroaded these people through the system. And, you know, I made a comment on the plaque about the judge, because it's one of the J6 judges that has approved all these things. And someone said, well, you're a Stop Hate, and you're not supposed to be. And that's a hateful thing you said about that judge. I said, look, she's earned it. If you don't know her record and you've never stood before her in court like I have, and you don't know what you're dealing with, and you don't know the implication and the ramifications of what she did by letting this continue on. And everybody says, well, why didn't Trump stop it? What can he do other than maybe he could turn the public speaker up a little louder and show and tell what's going on there? That would help us a lot. But other than that, this is a travesty, and for it to be a permanent fixture in the Capitol. Last time it was heave ho and water fights. I think next time should be a treasure hunt, personally.
Yeah, when we saw how the J6 committee conducted themselves, showing a lie, showing Fanon being drugged down the steps, which is what this show is going to be about when it's not him. What they did to Trennis Evans during the committee, when they edited videos with timestamps, different timestamps, and they were caught doing that, So bringing up B.A. Miller and bringing up my next guest right now is my buddy Shane Jenkins. Me and him have been friends for quite some time. And Shane, what you got, brother? Are you at Starbucks right now, brother?
I am. Yeah, I had to steal the Starbucks internet, but
It's delicious.
It's good. It's good to be here. And you look good, Gary. Joe, you look good. David, I don't know. You're kind of,
I'm the same, man. I'm never going to change.
It's sad that they put that plaque up, but I do think that it's time for us to push for ours. There's more than one person died on January 6th, and there was 4 of them. And I think it's time that we honored those people. It's just a sad thing that our Republican senators have zero backbone, especially Cornyn and Ted Cruz and all these people. They've labeled in my opinion, American heroes. They've labeled them domestic terrorists, and it's a travesty.
Well, I tell you, we always see you on Rav, Shane. Every commercial
Yeah,
break.
dude, you got like 3 minutes of commercial nonstop. You go from one to the other. First is Stand in the Gap, and then you're jumping over for the 12 community people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a busy man. They say I have a face for radio, is what they say. So
That's me. You stole my line, man.
Now, I think you're kind of cute, Shane. I seen you around. So what happened? Did you get caught in this TSA problem coming out to see us?
yeah, we had some issues getting to the airport on time and getting through. It was just not doable. And I could have flown in late tonight, but I'm going to get some rest tonight, be in there at the same time tomorrow. I will be there for the duration of it. But we'll get it figured out. I'm excited. I'm sad that I'm not there right now. It really upsets me that I'm not there.
Well, I'm glad you're
I
on
can't
with
wait.
us anyways, because, just the videos we're going to show is basically has got you in it. There's some questions I've got if you remember things back in that day. And
For sure.
yeah. So, David, let me ask you something real quick. Have you heard anything about Tina Peters before we continue?
Nothing but Peter Ticton's latest that hopefully they've got a little more traction or a little more support, but nothing solid, man. It's just like everything we've experienced. We have all this evidence we talked about earlier, the perjury and things that have been proven, but nothing's done. We know that they changed the timestamps on Trennis Evans, but nothing's been done. That would reverse Trump's impeachment, but nothing's been done. So that's almost a theme. And I think that's the counter narrative from what we're doing. We're getting something done, and we're going to let the public decide, and the public react, and the public respond the way they feel like their freedom is exercised properly. And that's usually against the popular. We see a lot of people that are scared, timid, and that is not J6ers, and that is not us. So don't expect that if you're coming here to see any of that stuff. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're about to show you something that nobody on the planet had access to. Nobody showed on media or internet or anywhere, social media. And it really blows the top off the government story.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of this show, because the J6 committee did not tell the true story. So that's what we're going to do. That's why it's the real J6 committee. We're going to show the people what was not shown then and what's not been seen, and it's important to do that. I know you've got archives started up with other videos as well, Summerall?
That's right. Yeah, we're working on a commission, an archive project with Trennis and Tim Rivers. And, the American Gulag Chronicles is where we're supporting that effort right now until we decide how we're going to carry forward with that. It's not cheap and it's not free, but it's worth doing. We have to save the history from J6, and it's the Liberty Collective Coalition. It's the whole group with, Stop Hate and J6 Patriot News. And, everybody that can contribute to that database. Otherwise, this history is lost. So we understand the importance in that. We don't want to leave landmines for our children and grandchildren because we didn't do anything about them now. And so keeping this on the record is one thing. The archives are super important. And just let me plug real quick, lettersfromprison.us, lettersfromprison.us. You can get those books, the 3 books from the series, and support this effort and J6ers and their families at the same time. 100% nonprofit volunteer effort.
All right.
So we appreciate the support for that because, like I said, it's a necessity that we keep this information going.
Thank you, David. Hey, we got about 20 seconds left. Real quick upstairs, if you'd go ahead and show that video number 1 real quick before we go to break.
For example, they said this was Signick, and he was hit in the head with the fire extinguisher. Then they switched the story and said it was Fanone.
All right, so that's just a little teaser. So we've got some more videos coming up, a longer one after a while, but we'll be right back after this break.
Have you noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. What we're still doing? Fighting! Every day, all day long.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
All right, welcome back. I think I want to go ahead and play that video here just a little bit. But, David, do you have anything to say about it before I play the next short clip?
Well, just get ready. Just get ready to absorb and remember. Try to recall that this is what we saw. This is what we were shown. This is what the testimony was around, the J6 hearings, HBO's documentary. Everything was focused around this video. And they told the story and threaded this whole thing. Actually, it was a diversion for what was happening close by, but we'll talk about that later. Just remember, This is what the whole world was shown as the truth about January 6th and what happened on the West Tunnel, 3:30 or so. So, yeah, it's a very interesting time, very interesting video because it's an absolute lie. And that's what we're going to show you here.
Yep, absolute lie. Let's see, we've got somebody else up here Trennis, can you hear us?
Can you bring him in too? Can then we do a box with Trennis as well?
Or kick me out, man. Leave all the good-looking people up there, you know.
Oh, stop it.
Well,
Stop it. David,
Don't worry, we
We
got a
gotta get
box
some
for
ratings
everybody.
somewhere.
Oh, man.
We got a box for every one of you guys, and it's small cage, about
you're not
4
gonna-
by 8. You're familiar with that, Shane, aren't you?
Joe the Box.
Yes, it is.
Joe the Box. What's going on,
How you doing, Trennis?
That's great.
Hey, man, it's good to see you. Gary, good to see you, buddy.
Good seeing
Hey,
you.
yeah, sorry, fellas. I'm on the move here. I could not be moving today, so with what I was doing, I apologize. So you've got me remote here, as David says, from an undisclosed location.
That's right.
Looks like you're going golfing, but anyways.
I wish.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's what I'm thankful for is that finally we're all three. When I say all three, it's Trennis, myself, and David. We've talked about this for years, being able to do something like this together, and I'm just glad for the opportunity that Trennis was able to make it on here now too. So, real quick, I want to go ahead, guys upstairs. Go ahead and show that video number 2 real quick, and we'll kind of start going around the bases here and talking about it.
The mob grabbed Fanoon out of the lawn and dragged him into the mob, beating, tasing, smashing him with flagpoles.
Misdis malinformation. So that's never been fixed. That's never been changed. Everybody thinks that's Fanone being drugged down, and it's not. It's B.A. Miller that was drugged down the steps. And, you know, B.A. Miller didn't get to go to the Super Bowl either. But, Shane, you remember a little bit of that?
No, I definitely remember that. You know, a lot of people don't realize that Fanone on his body cam prior to coming out of the tunnel was like, he's like, get out of the way. I'm going to, you know, he was Billy Badass was trying to barge his way up to the front of the line. And that's what got him in trouble is he had this tough guy syndrome and went out there and got snatched out of the crowd, which was bad move. Not good for it to be done to him, but still, whenever you go with that kind of attitude and instead of trying to protect people and serve people, you go in there and you want to just beat some ass. That's what's going to happen to you. But you know, with B.A. Miller, you know, he did get pulled out of the crowd. It did look pretty vicious, although the strikes from some of those things missed him. It's a damning angle. The one they're looking, you can't really see where those strikes are hitting, but they were hitting on the step beside him. If you look at from alternative angles. I do remember him having an anxiety, like a panic attack when he was surrounded by the crowd. And we also escorted him to safety. You know, there was some kind of hidden door over there off to the stage right, I guess. And they put him in this little hidden door over there. And I do remember giving him the thumbs up, like the people that pulled him back there. And I was like, is he good? He's good. They're like, yeah, he's good. And so I forget all the stuff that happened that day that I helped escort an officer to safety. But you know, the crowd did gather around. 99% of the crowd was protecting him. One guy tried to hit him, and the other crowd was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're not. No, you're setting up the next video
Actually,
after a while, so it's all good.
We're kind of hoping that this jogs your memory a little bit. You know, might take you back to the moment. We don't want to give you flashbacks, bro, because we understand, but we do need more information. We need more video, like we were saying earlier. If people have other angles, we're still accepting. I know I am at info@stophate.com or david@stophate.com. Send me, you know, your number, your link, your whatever. If we need to meet, I've done it all. And that's the importance of getting this information. But I think it's really telling in that video, like you said. Now, some people were trying to strike him unsuccessfully, more than successfully. And I think you'd be happy to know that the videos after that of him in the hallway with the other police show that he was not injured. So just rest assured, he wasn't hurt in the making of that movie.
No, and the whole purpose of that video showing it also is that's the same video that they showed Fanone at the J6 committee. He knew that wasn't him. He's never come out and changed it. Yeah, so that wasn't Fanone. That was
he didn't even correct him?
They've never corrected it. They still say that's him being drugged down head first. And Trennis, chime into you real quick. You know how the J6 committee is and what they did to you with your little timestamps in your video.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, we know that from the Colorado ballot case when they started in on Trump saying that he couldn't be on the ballot in Colorado. That was the Norma Jean Anderson et al. Case. And I'm laying on the couch sick as a dog watching this thing on C-SPAN, and the phone just starts blowing up. I was amazed at what I was watching. It was the June 6, 2022 airing of the Select Committee, or June 9, 2022 airing of the Select Committee's video, where they had fraudulently altered timestamps and orders of events, yet they gave the journalist an award. Don't forget that was ABC producer James Goldston that provided that information to the that was a made-for-TV movie. They did a documentary to create a lie about what actually happened on January 6th. I wasn't on the Capitol steps at 224, like they said, saying anything at all. And they've left out, they cut it away. They didn't put my statement in there about do not harm the police, don't law enforcement, et cetera, just like they did when they provided the evidence to the court. They said they never had that. Now, guaranteed, I mean, Shane, you know this, you served a lot of time with a lot of guys, and you know well as I do that had it have been a case where I would have said something derogatory in any way, shape, or form, that we would have absolutely had that video. But amazingly, they weren't able to find or provide any of the videos of me walking around. Thank God I had my own videos of what I said. Don't harm the police, don't damage the building, it's a peaceful demonstration. They didn't want to talk about that, though. They wanted to change it. They changed and altered a timestamp and said something that happened at after 4 o'clock in the afternoon happened at 2:24, which was a total lie, and we all knew it. And here we are today. The lie still persists. People don't know. And it's nowhere, I don't think it's as nearly as egregious as this with Fanone and what he's done. These officers, the Lila Morrises, those people that were put out on parade for the Super Bowl, put out on parade for the American people as the brave officers that defended democracy. They're not. These people, some of them are perjurers and liars and absolute scoundrels. I mean, I don't know, we could go further here. There's lots of words used to describe these individuals, but the lie they told to the American public should not stand. And the history books have to tell the truth, and the people need the truth. And without that, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, we're here now. So that's what's going to happen, is just pushing out the truth of what we have and sharing it and doing the best that we can. We've always told the truth, and it's sickening when you uncover so much of what they never showed. I mean, it was televised. I mean, and they just sunk that and hammered their truth, which was lies, into everybody's heads, and we all saw it. What you got
There's still
there,
people
Joe?
that believe that 12 officers were killed on January 6th.
That's right.
It's freaking ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Kamala Harris campaigned on it while trials were going on. This is never something like we've ever seen in our country. The left campaigned on January 6th as though it was Trump's insurrection. It was the big, et cetera, et cetera. And here we are seeing people still destroyed today, Shane. It's horrible. I mean, we know very many people that have their lives destroyed and everything ripped out away from them, you being one. And where's the recompense in this? When is there going to be reconciliation? When are we going to see the truth? But it's a disgusting narrative and a lie. And the kids are learning it in the history books now as a lie. And it makes me question so much of what I used to believe about things I've read from history and what we know about our country.
Hey, that's the truth, man. And listen, that plaque is another example of that going up, as a permanent historical fact, you would think, when it's not. And that's the problem with AI. It only has access to court records and MSN, news, like things that are mainstream, not the investigation. We've seen the truth. The public hasn't. Enough of the public saw the truth to get us to where we are. And Trump saw the truth. He knew the truth. But Trennis, I beg to differ. What happened to you was just as important. Any falsification of evidence, that led to Trump's impeachment, changing those timestamps. We proved that in Cindy Young's case in court, that he had nothing to do with the police line failure. But I think that piece of video right there that Fanone always says, well, I was foggy. They were beating on me. I don't really remember going, it was a blur. He said all these things. He's not descriptive about how he went down in the crowd, because in actuality, he body surfed with the front edge of the crowd down the steep stairs. Nobody was beating him with flagpoles or hitting him. That happened to another officer, and Fanone did not correct him. That's lie number one. And when we show you this next video or picture, we're going to really open up how the proof is that that's a bold-faced lie.
Go ahead, Joe.
I just wanted to say that the proof is so overwhelming, like David Summerall had said a little earlier when he was talking before Trennis came on in his car driving 90 miles an hour, pulling over the side of the road. But I happen to have Trennis's book here, call it Insurrection Comrade. And, this is a great story of what happened to Trennis. But I will tell you, in my experience and making all these great friends, that this is not an uncommon story where they came barging through the front door to arrest you, Trennis. And you know more, and Shane, I'm sure they come barging in on your place, or they might have already had you for some other reason. I don't know. Did you experience that, Shane?
No, they came with the armored personnel carrier in my front yard at 6:30 in the morning with FBI and Houston SWAT. Laser beams from long rifles pointed at my chest, and it was a rude awakening.
Sounds like common Insurrection Comrade. Get the book from Trennis Evans. You can find it online. You can even get it at the warehouse over here. I recommend it. This is the truth. You're going to get it right here at the warehouse, right, Gary?
That's right. And we're going to be right back. Get ready for the next video. See you in a bit.
Get ready!
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
All right, welcome back to the Real J6 Committee. Guys upstairs, I want to play this next video in just a second. Shane's going to have to jump here in a little bit, but I do want Shane to see this and let him think about it the rest of the day. So
thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then I'll send you a picture if you miss it, what this is building up to for proof of something. Okay. So guys upstairs, if you could go ahead and play video number 3, and then don't forget, cut it at 17 seconds, or just stop it.
This gentleman is yelling and pointing to his right, which gets Shane's attention as Shane leans forward. Now you'll see Shane shake his head yes, because he heard. He'll point in that direction and agree.
All right, now real quick, the bald-headed guy, Shane, that's facing you. If you guys could just leave that picture up for a minute. The bald-headed guy facing you starts talking to you. Again, this is when I asked, maybe you'll remember what he said. And then there's a guy next to him with a red bandana on. You see that? Okay, so the bald-headed guy, red bandana guy. Matter of fact, the guy with the bald head has a scarf on with stripes around his neck. So go ahead and continue playing it.
That's me in the red beanie with
yeah,
the blue
that's
hoodie on.
Shane in the red beanie.
With the beard.
Now they start tugging on this
with the
officer
beard.
again. This is when Shane starts just pushing towards that area to get that officer over there. Now what you're about to see should raise a lot of questions as to how did they know to take him there? There were more people that knew to go that direction other than the one that was pointing that way. How many undercover agents were there? Why didn't this violent mob, as everybody calls them, why didn't they just rush those cops and get inside? Shane giving a thumbs up, acknowledging that B.A. Miller is safe.
Just like you said earlier, Shane. Wow. You know, thumbs up. You know, you set it up earlier for us really good. And then that door opening up, you know, it's if it's such a violent mob, that was a huge opportunity to rush inside there right now. So, Shane, thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's unusual because I remember them wanting to take him back up the steps, and I was like, just get him out of here. I was like, look, this guy, in my personal opinion, I wanted him to be safe, but I also didn't want him to hurt anybody else or do anything else, right? So I just was like, get him out of the fray, get him away. And that door opened up, and it was like, there were other cops, and they're like, what the hell is going on here? But again, you look at the bald-headed guy, it looks like he knew exactly where he was like going right in there, and it was closed before that. I don't understand, you know, how he knew that. But.
Well, okay, so I was going to wait to do this. We're going to bring that picture up now before you go, Shane. So, guys, go ahead and bring up, this was given to me by David a couple of days ago. Now, let me say something real quick. The red guy with the red bandana on, see him right there? There he is. See the bald-headed guy, Shane? Wow. There he is. Oh, wow. They're both inside of there.
Oh, that's crazy. So those have got to be DC cops, then, I would assume.
So, again, there was nobody undercover there, was there? And look at how they're both messing with the front of B.A. Miller's vest.
They not civilians. They wouldn't let do that, I don't think.
No.
What is that, a closet or something?
No, it's just that little doorway, and there's another door behind it that goes into the Capitol. And that's how they got inside there, got him out.
Is that a shoulder of a supervisor patch right there on it, or the DC Metro patch? Is that what that is?
You talking about the white one?
Right corner,
I think it's a flag, David.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think it is, but it could be. Listen, the point of this is two things. The numbers on that guy's helmet don't match Fanone's. That is not Fanone. And Fanone never went up the thing. If that's Fanone that went down the stairs, then when did he go in the door? When did he come back out? When did they carry him back up? None of that happened. So this is 1,000% not Fanone, for one.
Well, if you recall, Fanone didn't have a face.
Go ahead and
covering.
go back
This
to
guy
the
had a tear gas, like a gas mask on. It was actually kind of suffocating. He was having a hard time breathing and had a panic attack. That's why they stopped for a minute, let him catch his breath and settle down for a second, and then we moved him out of there. But Fanone came out of the crowd. I'll never forget seeing Fanone's face when he was in the crowd, like his terror, like crying face.
Well, and Fanone said in his testimony multiple times
again?
that he did not have a mask on that day. He had forgotten.
No, he didn't. It was
It
clear.
would have been a good idea to have a mask, but he didn't have a mask. So
No, and he says it during the select committee that he had all this pepper spray and the powder and all that stuff on him, you know, and I made a little funny video about it, you know, and said, well, B.A. Miller remembered to bring his mask, you know. So he had, yeah. And even in that footage that we show before, you see his badge number on his helmet. You see his name tag, B.A. Miller. You see it all.
Trennis, who do you think those guys down the hole with Mr. Miller are?
MPD Special Narcotics Unit.
They kind of look like it, don't they?
That's what I think. Look, I mean, so in the Proud Boys trial on a Saturday on the 4th Street skiff, they disclosed to counsel, was part of that legal team, and they disclosed to us on that day, they had to go to the skiff to do it, that there were 13 undercover MPD. And I wasn't at the meeting, but so as soon as the meeting ended, I got calls from the attorneys I was working with for Dominic Pizzola, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" They admitted that there was 13 MPD Special Narcotics Unit guys there, and I said, "What about DHS HSI? What about the Park Police? What about Capitol Police Special Undercover Unit? What about the counterterrorism people? What about the FBI? What?" And I was like, "They gave you something shiny." I don't not to insult the attorneys; they did a great job. I think they were so excited to finally have a breakthrough of some information that had to be turned over. That, and I'm not faulting them at all. That it was mind blowing, and they got stuck on that. And I don't think they went further, and that's what we really needed. And that's what we still need, to tell the truth, because you never have DHS, HSI unit officers that we know that were engaged, that we know that had boots on the ground that day. We have the guys, that it goes on, list of those guys that we identified. We have Special Narcotics Unit MPD. We have Capitol Police, Park Police, U.S. Marshals, FBI, and all of the other, any number, or CIA, et cetera, that could have been boots on the ground.
all of them.
Never been told. Yeah.
Let me add this to the conversation. On that plaque, it represents 3,600 police officers, law enforcement, 3,600. And if we add all the numbers that we just talked about, we might get 2,000 if we're lucky. Where's the other 1,500? Are they in the crowd as well, helping officers like Miller, helping with the op? Because listen, man, this stinks from high heaven. That looks so bad. First, that it's not Fanone. Second, that these guys knew where to go and are working on this cop's outfit. What are these seamstress guys? Are they sewing down there?
You know what else, David, is a lot of people overlook too, is you've got all these different agencies that you're talking about, whether it's CIA, DIA, FBI, all these people. And not only that, but what about their CIs, their informants, their snitches that are also working in the crowd? Like that is another arm of the octopus that we got to look at, is all the people that work for those agencies that are off the books workers.
Well, especially those who violated their parole.
Who gathered that list, Gary? Who made the list? Who has the list? Who supplied the list to the architect of the Capitol, that supplied it to the committee, that supplied it for the plaque? Who's behind the scenes doing that? Who picked the people for the Super Bowl? Who picked Fanone for the media tour? Who picked Dunn for office? Who picks all these things? I think that's what we're getting to the bottom of.
Yeah, I was picking Fanone and Lila Morris to go to the Super Bowl to tout that these are heroes when they're not at all.
Where do you hide something the best? In the wide open. Shane, it is great to see you today, my friend. I know you got to go, man.
Yeah,
I've got to jump, you guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys next time.
Shane, thank you, brother.
Good to see you, man.
Be safe.
Yes, sir. God bless y'all.
All right, see you, buddy.
That's
Joe,
great.
What do you think?
Well, I'm having a great time, and I'm love talking to these guys over here because, I love the J6 community. There's like 1,800 people, I believe, have been brought up on charges. Most
16.
of them have been pardoned. I think there's like 12 people that their sentences have been commuted, and I know there's a big effort for them, but there are other J6ers outside of that direct community that were affected by the whole movement, and it angers me to hear that there's a plaque somewhere honoring these people that have outright lied. And this is really going to get your goat, guys. I'm trying to get in a little local politics around here. And one of the Republican guys, he says, "Joe, I'm running for office. I'd really like your help at the America First Warehouse." So I said, "Great. Who won the 2020 election?" And he said, "Joe Biden won." And I said, "You are going to continue to lie to us right to our faces, and you expect me to vote you in?" He goes, "Joe, I was tagged by Donald Trump as one of his chosen candidates, which is very upsetting to me. So I flew down to West Palm Beach to see what I can do about that." I told him I was going to West Palm Beach, and he said, "What are you doing down there?" I didn't want to tell him.
I won't ask what you're doing.
Even
Dude.
Trump, nobody bats 1,000, right? It's just the way it is.
So how do you guys feel about the new congressman that's going to take the DHS? Didn't he say that we was part of that Fanone was a hero at one time?
Michael Byrd.
Yeah, he gave Byrd a hug and said he understood. He did what he had to do when he shot Ashley Babbitt in cold blood. I don't think that what is his name again?
Mullen is his last name. Mullen.
Him something weird, but no, he's no hero. He's no friend. He's just like the rest of the Uniparty guys. I mean, that's the realization that J6ers came to. You know, I'm not speaking for them, but I'm speaking with them all the time. And they all feel the same way, you know, forgotten, lost, used, put up wet, whatever you want to say. But there's still no justice. And I think that's what we have to keep striving for. And education's key, folks. If you didn't know these things, pay attention, come back, learn more. You know, we do still have a dozen people waiting for a pardon that just got completed. We still have 2 in prison. We still have a lot
Tina
of
Peters.
issues
Who
with
else is there,
families not
David?
being able to rebuild because they got a pardon, not a pardon of innocence. They weren't declared heroes. People look at them as criminals that got pardoned by their chief. You know, their guy that hired them to do, and that's far from the truth. But with the media and the propaganda, we have to work that much harder. It's not over yet. That's why we're here.
What 2 are still left?
You know, Dave.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
David. I saw a great meme the other day. By the way, Joe, thanks for the plug on the book. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But I saw a great meme the other day. Imagine how much propaganda it took to get you to believe this is normal. And then it had trans, you know, dancers in front of little kids and all this nonsense, and little kids stuffing dollars in a trans G-string. And then it had, you know, a dad fishing with his son, and that this is the problem, right? I mean, and it's so representative of where we are today. You know, the
Yeah, I mean, guys, we're going to break here in just 2 seconds, so we'll be right back.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel.
Just 1 second.
But here's the shocking truth.
I'm going to play
100%
the video
of the
of
major
B.A.
travel
Miller inside the
agencies are
Capitol
owned by just
after
2
he got
entities,
his, you know.
Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
All right, we're back. Trennis has got to jump out of here. He's a busy man. So, Trennis, what you got going on?
Hey, man, Gary, guys, Joe, David, so good to see you guys. Joe, you do such an amazing job at the America First Warehouse. That place is an absolute testament to patriotism. I love it. Thank you for what you do there. Thanks for keeping that thing going. Gary, thank you so much. The work you've done over the years, digging into these videos, learning where things are, and displaying it to the American public is amazing. David, been an honor to work with you thrilled to have worked with you and Stop Hate and this commitment that you've made all this time. So M5 News, Gary McBride, David Summerall, Joe the Box, Stop Hate, all you guys, amazing team of people. It has been a journey, fellas. It's been an honor to work with you shoulder to shoulder, and couldn't dream of working with greater people. So anyway, I'm going to give a shameless plug to my book. Call it Insurrection Comrade. You can get it on the website at Condemned USA. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever. Look, we went through a lot of hell to get that thing published, to get it past all the legal and let them see that everything was the truth. The best part that came out of that publishing of that book was going to a real publishing company. Was one of the lawyers from the legal team came to me afterward and said, I thought you were full of crap. I believed everything I had read about and heard about January 6th. And he goes, I hate Donald Trump and I really don't like you, but I know that my side lied a whole bunch now. And I was like, oh, amazing. That's amazing.
Does he still hate you?
At least they got through to pierce the veil, right? So
worth it.
These things need to come out so much more. And Gary, David, Joe, you guys are the perfect guys to do it. So thanks for having me on the show. And I look forward to being back with you guys.
My favorite chapter is 21, Freedom Corner, Trent. It's just in case you wanted to know.
Thank you, Tritus. See you next time,
Love
brother.
it, See
All
you
right,
soon,
gentlemen.
man.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
So, Summerall, talk a little bit more about that video. I mean, that picture you sent me, I always wondered.
How would you get that picture anyway? How would you get something like that?
You can't tell your sources all the time.
You can't tell us? Is that what he said?
Yeah, you can't tell the sources.
Yeah, you can't reveal all your sources. Honestly, people are still nervous. And look, I had a FBI visit 4 months ago. So this isn't. That's during Trump. That's during Kash Patel. And I didn't break a law. I didn't cross the line. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't do anything. Then why are you at my house? Then why do you keep coming? That's the 6th visit I've had that I know of. They might have come to my house when I'm not here. I don't know. But that's the 6th one that I know of. And look, it's old and it needs to stop. But this is the kind of discovery. And this is why we're so bold and so vocal. Like I said, I haven't said anything wrong. I'm just speaking the truth. And they don't like that. They want me to shut up. So they keep intimidating or trying. Send more agents. This time Homeland Security came with them. Why? Who made that box? And who told you to put a check in it? And what is that all about? Because all we're doing is uncovering. So I get videos sent to me, Telegram, encrypted servers and things like that, meeting people at functions with thumb drives. It happens in every way you can imagine because people are terrified, scared. And we put the call out early and said, send your videos in because the FBI is scooping them up. They're getting your phones and your laptops, and we need the evidence. So we built one of the biggest probably the biggest database made with public video on the planet. That's what we built our documentaries with. And then we added all the police information that we could as it was legally permitted most of the time. So we got the body cams and the CCTV, all the different forms of video, and put it all together. That's what the archives are about, as well as the letters from prison, the court documents, the records, the transcripts, the trials, everything that has to do with January 6th should be guarded. And they would like nothing more than for it to go away so that their AI searches never find pieces of truth like that. It sticks with the court narrative. It sticks with the media narrative. Because, look, they wouldn't let these things get into court. Otherwise, AI could find them. You understand? So it's so calculated and so methodical and so polished. They were amazing.
Well, it gave the prosecutors years to watch these videos and create a story. And they'll take a video and they'll do a screenshot to make it look like a flag is hitting some cop's helmet when it's not, and that's how they put it out there. And they had all this time.
I think this video is a prime example of that. They told everybody in the country, this is Officer Fanone being drugged down in this crowd and beaten with flagpoles. They tried to kill this man. If he hadn't told them he had family, then they might have eaten him. That's what they're trying to sell to people. And it's just so far from the truth. We put that Fanone video out not too long ago that shows after he starts his rise back up, he's never unconscious. And if he is, it's not more than 18 or 20 seconds, and he's not. But we're just proving that he's never unconscious. Jimmy was never sick. All these lies that he and his friends told during these hearings are disprovable. I mean, we have the evidence. So why are our politicians, when I was on Tucker Carlson the first time, he said, where are the politicians that these people, these J6ers supported? Why aren't they fighting for them? I'm like, bro, it's the same thing we've talked about forever, Tucker. It's the uniparty. And boy, we're seeing that on steroids more and more every single day.
Yeah, wasn't Johnson supposed to release it all?
Wake up call. Yeah, they were supposed to release it all 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. They're never going to release all this video. I promise you, they are never going to release all this video. I've had legal access to all this video. I've seen tons and tons of this video, most of the juicy good parts. I know where the bodies are buried, put it to you that way.
Well, it's even like one of the videos, David, we talked about when we did a video together a couple years ago, 3 years ago, that Johnson released whatever, it was only 17 seconds long, and I've got that same video, and it's just, what are they, like 9-minute segments or so? It's like, why is this? Why did they cut it out? And I know what it was for. Is because it was showing them working on Ashley Babbitt down one of the hallways. That's right. Not Roseanne, but Ashley. Yeah,
that's exactly right. In the big hallway, and so that's the things that people can't put the pieces together. That they've been shown a little snippet, a little piece, a little chunk, a little slice of the east side, the west side, the inside, the outside. Nothing in order, nothing in time. Order either. So it's hard to put this puzzle together. But that one video of Miller shows you Fanone lied just about his mask, if nothing else.
Exactly.
Did Fanone get dragged down those steps? Did he get dragged down at all?
No, he didn't get drugged. That video was B.A. Miller being drugged down. He was like in a mosh pit going down the stairs. He never got on the ground. He was never, never on the ground.
Nobody was trying to hurt him. I know that.
I'll put it to you like this. Albuquerque Head grabbed him and said, "Here we go, boy," and took off down the steps at the front. And the police, this is the time that they actively pushed everyone out of the tunnel. Okay, I mean, Fanone and them, push, push, push. So you get, 40 people tumbling down these super steep stairs. Fanone was at the front of the waterfall, that was coming down these stairs. So when they get to the bottom, he stumbled or whatnot. He's on the ground. Then William Sarsfield, another J6er, sees him on the ground and sticks his hand down, and Fanone says, "I've got a family." And he says, "I do too." And he says, "Get up." So he pulls him up off the ground and helps start the process of taking him. It's all on video. We've got the witnesses. We've got the people that help support him and carry him to the front. So all that is lies. He was never beaten. He was never unconscious. Oh, there's some guys down there trying to do something. We're not sure that it was a taser. We think that might have been added to the HBO special and to the story. He did not tell the paramedics that he was tased.
No, and I'll tell you something about the tasing part also is because with one of my videos, I've got a close-up of him from another body camera footage, and it shows his neck. And then it was like months later, it shows his neck with like burn marks, 2 burn marks. And if it was that deep and that long, you would have seen it right then and there as soon as that. But he had, go ahead, you're going to talk about his vest, aren't you? His collar?
He had the vest.
He had the collar on.
He had the collar tucked up all the way under his helmet. And you see the guy, when you really study the video, he looks really like he's grabbing the back of his jacket and pulling him. I don't know that they didn't add something to his hand. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at his hand down at the bottom, it's empty. By the time it gets to the top, it has a black square in it.
Yeah.
But if you look earlier, he's talking on that black square. Would you put a taser up next to your head to talk on the phone on it? Because that would only be the same thing. And then to pull him backwards as soon as the cop, it's not like he knew the cop was coming, have the taser ready. So none of this makes sense. And the audio doesn't line up from the taser sound to the back of Fanone's neck. And like you say, there's no scars. And he didn't tell the paramedic that he was tased.
No, and that's just it. Right when he gets to the top and he falls down and collapses and everything, it's right before he falls, you see the side of his neck, the whole back and the whole side where supposedly he was tased at. And there's not a single mark. You would have seen a mark from it.
Absolutely.
And it was months later after it came out. And then what'd you get tattooed on his palms, a year or two later? Pay up, sucker, something like that.
Well, he got pretty roughed up by Colonel Ivan Rakelin in the hearing when Ivan was calling him out. Do you recall that? Anybody?
I do, and Ivan just beat him up with his words. Actually,
yes,
Ivan just said, "I'm going to let you beat yourself up." And it was so comical. I mean, that's not the first time either. Enrique did it at the elevator at the hotel, So these are instances that just show Fanone's character. What about Fanone making the comments that, well, I'm ready for a shootout. I'm hiding out in the woods, and I'm ready for the what is it? Now he's on a tour, folks. This same pinhead liar perjury guy is on a tour going to schools, telling kids about how bad it was. Now he's talking about people shouldn't wear a mask. If you're a law officer, you shouldn't. Dude, you had a mask on J6. What are you talking about, man? Because ICE is wearing masks? You're going to go and protest? He is an instigator. He would love to see major violence. He is the perpetrator of said violence. It wasn't us. You can hear the crowd saying,
I'm not afraid to show anything here, Gary. You got something good? We could show Fanone, the liar that he is. If the J6 committee don't want to do it, the real J6 committee does.
Yep, and that's going to be the next show next month. We're going to break down Fanone and show the lies and use it with articles, back it up with Rolling Stones.
Let's get this guy. I don't like him. Then you got Harry Dunn, Lila Morris, Michael Bird. You got a whole handful of people that tried to destroy this country that day.
Yeah, and then the next one after Fanone will be Ganil.
I'm just excited to be here doing this with you guys. I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, well, we got one more segment.
Thanks for coming out from behind the woodwork, baby.
That was too much fun.
Behind the camera. Went fast.
That was the last segment. I'm like, oh, wow. All right.
April 26, 1992.
I know where you are.
You will. See y'all.
Peace out, Summerall. StopHate.com.
A beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free in the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America.